on the final day of a rare Beijing visit, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with President Xi Jinping. Blinken earlier held more than 7.5-hour talk with the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang. Tensions have risen sharply between the world's two largest economies in recent years, especially over Taiwan, trade and human rights. Blinken's China visit could set the stage for talks between Xi Jinping and Joe Biden at multilateral summit later this year. Now, Beijing's top diplomat told the U.S. Secretary of State that Beijing and Washington must choose between cooperation or conflict. Blinken spoke to Wang Yi, whose position in the Communist Party ranks above the foreign minister, for 3 hours. China's state broadcaster CCTV reported Wang Yi told Blinken that Beijing had no room to compromise on Taiwan. Taiwan has lived for decades under constant threat of an invasion by China. Now, Beijing claims Taiwan is a part of its own territory to be seized one day, even by force if required, as made very clear by the Xi Jinping regime. However, many Taiwanese people consider their self-ruled island to be distinct, whether or not independence is ever officially declared. Beijing plans to control strategic choke points and deny access to foreign forces. China has also continued to use grey zone tactics to test Taiwan's response. Grey zone tactics include sending drones, balloons and fishing boats to areas just very close to Taiwan. Here's what the Taiwanese premier had to say on the US-China talks.
There are good communication channels between Taiwan and the United States, and communication has always been smooth. For this interaction between China and the United States, we are closely monitoring the relevant details. However, based on the practice of the two parties, including mutual trust and a tacit understanding, it's not convenient for us to announce the relevant details to the public.
Remember, Joe Biden and Xi Jinping met in Bali in November. The presidents agreed to try to prevent tensions from soaring out of control, including by sending Blinken to Beijing. The two sides have more recently looked again to keep tensions in check. Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, and top Chinese diplomat Wang Yi held an extensive closed-door meeting in Vienna just last month. Biden has sought limited areas for cooperation with China, such as climate change. The U.S. president's approach differs from the more fully adversarial position adopted by the end of the administration of his predecessor, Donald Trump.
This week, my administration released new information. This week, my administration